back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm one of your host, Shinry, here at the Everything Anime Podcast, everything from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, or on the top 5 talking about. Today's video is on Tokyo Ghoul. I believe it's chapters 33 to 39. Shu the Gourmet. So we last left off, we met the Gourmet Ghoul, who's taking an interest in Kaneki after getting a whiff of his aura, his blood. He smelled something when he passed Kaneki that made him smell interesting. And the Gourmet chef, or the Gourmet Ghoul, we know, like, it's not that he's about killing people. Like the woman that, like, we thought, the woman that we thought Yomo attacked was him. Like, he stole her eyes because he thought they were beautiful so he could eat them. Even though he didn't kill her. He could have, but he didn't. So we know he has, like, a particular taste. Like, he's after particular things. I guess he's like, thinks he's above other ghouls. Like, he's not messy. He's like, oh, I don't have to kill anybody. As long as I get what I want, you can live. I mean, stealing somebody's eyes is still pretty fucked up. But yeah, he's taking an interest in Kaneki after getting a whiff of his smell. So when the chapter opens up, he finds Kaneki sitting alone, and he decides to, like, go and talk to him. Now, in the anime, all chapters up until this point were skipped. Like, there's been some sprinkled in here, sprinkled in there. Maybe, like, if I watch a little bit further past episode 3, they'll be sprinkled in everywhere else. But by this point, episode 3 of the anime, I had just met Shu. And I had seen everything that he's trying to do and what he's going to do. So I'm like, this is why I like reading manga first, because anime can, like, rush you things. Like Dr. Stone, if you watch Dr. Stone versus reading the manga, a lot of the manga is, like, more entertaining to me, and then watching it in the anime, it's like, oh, this is so cool, I know what's gonna happen, and you're entertained by it still. You're seeing it in action versus reading it. Oh, you get to do both. Whereas, like, this, it's such a slice of life manga. Like, even though there's a story, there's not a lot to say sometimes. And that's why even I'm trying to figure out, like, how I do my Tokyo Ghoul reviews. Like, what chapters do I put together? What makes sense as a good ending point? Stuff like that. But yeah, so at this point I already know who Shu was and everything. But he begins learning Kaneki with the trick of trust, because he's pretending that he loves books as much as he does. Because we know Rise was a book reader, and we know Kaneki from the first chapter was a book reader, because I think his dad was an author and his mom was a librarian or something like that. I know one of them was an author or something like that. And both of his parents are dead, but it was both related to books. And so Shu, he's trying to gain his trust by, like, having something mutual that they both like. Kaneki's father was an author who died. And reading books makes Kaneki feel closer to him. This is what I learned in the anime. The manga at this point had not outright said that, but the anime said it by episode 3. He even twists the knife harder in Kaneki by saying something like he's just misunderstood by Takuya. Oh yeah, so I think Takuya warned him to, like, stay away from Shu. And she was like, no, I'm just misunderstood because the others in Takuya, they don't like me because me and Raj are seen as weirdos. Because we also know, because he's like, oh, I like reading books. And obviously to ghouls, that's weird. He's trying to make himself seem like, you know, he's like an outcast ghoul. And even though the kind of books that Rise was reading was them serial killer books, so they got her excited to kill people. Like, she wasn't reading, like, Twilight and the Vampire Diaries. No, she was reading like some Bates Motel kind of shit. But that's why. So he knows that Kaneki likes books. He knows Kaneki's father's an author. So, or he didn't know that, but, like, he's trying to, like, you know, weasel his way in, kind of groom him, I guess. But this trick was enough to lure Kaneki hook, line, and sinker. Because Kaneki's like, oh, yeah, maybe you are different. Let me ignore this girl, Takuya, that I've known for a few weeks and just trust you, who I met for, like, 30 seconds because you love books, too. Like, how can you be so... Especially when you know he's a ghoul. How can you be so stupid? Post leaving Shu for a later time, we run into Yomo again, who wants Kaneki to meet one of his friends. This is another thing we jumped to in the anime that confused me. So in the anime, we kind of just jumped to this meeting between Yomo, Yuta, and I think her name, I forgot her name. Well, I'll probably get to it in my notes at some point. But we meet like a female ghoul, and they're just like talking. They're having like a meeting, saying like, "Oh, go hang out with Shu and find out what you know." And this was episode 3 in the anime. I'm not exaggerating. Like episode 3, I was so confused about what the fuck was going on. Whereas this, 33 chapters of build up, I can understand like what's going on a little bit better. Oh, this is where we meet Itiori. So that's her name. Her name is Itori or Itiori. So Yomo, Itiori, and Yuta. Those are the 3 ghouls. They're like best friends. We learned that the 3 of them are longtime frenemies from the 4th ward. Frenemies, enemies, friends, whatever. This is where we get some really good story, good world building too. Itiori says that Kaneki is the second one-eyed ghoul she's seen, the second one-eyed ghoul she has seen before. So there's another one-eyed ghoul out there somewhere. We just haven't met him yet, which I guess kind of makes the story more interesting. But I was gonna say I was kind of confused because the way Mr. Yoshimura would act around Kaneki, knowing he's a one-eyed ghoul, it made it seem like it's like a rare thing, like something that's never happened before. I mean, I guess it could have happened before, but like it makes it seem like there's presently another one-eyed ghoul. It's not like the Wizard King from 100 years ago. It's not like Goldie Roger, the King of the Pirates, who died. It's not like the 4th Hokage who passed away. It's like, no, there's actually another one-eyed ghoul. You're the second one I met. When Kaneki asks how is that possible, the same way that I'm asking, she asks, like, what do you think would happen if a ghoul and a human could see the baby? And I was like, okay, this is an interesting question. Like, so one-eyed ghouls can be made from, like, a human and a ghoul having sex, I guess. And she's like, no, the baby dies. If the mother is human and the father is a ghoul, the baby doesn't get the nourishment, aka human flesh, it needs to survive, so it would die in the womb. Vice versa, if the mother is a ghoul, she would eat the hybrid child, believing that it is sustenance. So what the? So basically, the baby gonna die either way. If the mother is a ghoul, but the father is a human, it'll die because it's not gonna get the nourishment that it needs. It needs human flesh to eat. And obviously, the ghoul mother can't eat the human flesh in front of the human father. And it's vice versa. If the father's a ghoul, but the mother's if the mother's a ghoul, why does that seem so backwards? Oh, because I guess the child would be like half human. So yeah, if the mother's a ghoul, she gonna eat the baby. Or her body will eat the baby. And if the mother's a human, her body just... What is it? If the mother's a ghoul, she'll eat the baby. Oh, I guess because if the mother's a human, but he's a half ghoul, he's going to need that. Well, why don't he just eat the mother from the inside out and just kill the mother? I don't know. That's what I'm confused. I'm like, well, if the ghoul baby is inside of her, and, like, the baby gets fed from what the mother eats, why wouldn't the half ghoul baby just eat the mother from the inside out? I don't know. Ghoul abilities, I don't know. But she does go on to say, though, the chance is highly low that a ghoul baby can survive, a hybrid baby. And when it does, a hybrid half ghoul is formed and it's stronger and more pure than any regular ghoul. So basically like newborn vampires in the Twilight world, where like if you just got turned into a vampire, you're stronger than even older vampires. I guess that's cool. I mean, I thought it was like a rare thing because like usually hybrids are stronger than like werewolves and vampires. The hybrid is stronger than a regular vampire, regular werewolf. But like in this universe, you're just like slightly stronger for a time. I don't know. No one has ever seen no one's ever seen the original one-eyed ghoul, though there's speculation that he could be a man, a woman, old, or very young. So she knows that there's a one-eyed ghoul out there. She doesn't know what it looks like. But what's worse, they can mistake the one-eyed ghoul for Kaneki. So she's like, you might be, since no one's ever seen or can confirm who the one-eyed ghoul is originally, like the first one. When they see your one eye, they might be like, oh, you're the one-eyed ghoul we heard about. You're the prophecy. And again, that goes back to Yoshimura. Maybe because, I guess that makes sense. Maybe Yoshimura is like, oh, wow, we created our own one-eyed ghoul. even though there's already one out there. But like we have one on our side. Again, there could be some mystery with Mr. Yoshimura. Where I'm at currently in chapter 55, there's like some mystery around Mr. Yoshimura and Rise's death, which we already knew Rise was killed. We knew that, but it's trying to hint something about Mr. Yoshimura. So maybe he did have something planned. We're not there yet, and I want to review this guys with you guys, so we'll just talk. But if you know, don't spoil it in the comments. Like I spoiled for myself that Hyde turns into a ghoul, but yeah, we're gonna get there. Also, the theory is confirmed that I thought the first time I read Tokyo Ghoul, that Rise death wasn't actually an accident. They kind of like talk about this, and they're like, was it a jealous ghoul that wanted to kill her, or perhaps it was a dove? I feel like a dove would have outright killed her in front of Kaneki because humans just know about ghouls. So even if Kaneki didn't know, I feel like I as a paranormal investigator is just gonna like kill her in front of him. Where it just seems it's definitely more of a ghoul. Like it was a ghoul that killed her. But oh yeah, speaking of that, Kaneki is the only thing that's supposed to can wound and kill ghouls, but like she was killed by like a bunch of like fucking fallen like pipes. And those are human made, so unless you and don't tell me them pipes were made of keys or whatever. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we get there. But yeah, that's what it seems like to me. Like she was just killed by human weapons, which a human knife couldn't even stab through Kaneki's chest, and he tried to do that full force to like get the Rise's organ out of him. I don't know. Kaneki begs her for more answers. He wants Itadori to tell him everything, but she's not going to give up that information without a trade. She's like, oh, I'll tell you what I know about Rise's death, but in return, they're going to do something for me. She knows that Shu is on the Gourmet restaurant. Some kind of thing like where like, well, we know Shu is the Gourmet demon or Gourmet ghoul, but like there's like this Gourmet restaurant where like all these fancy ghouls go, and she wants to know like how you get in, what happens in there, stuff like that. And since Kaneki is in cahoots with Shu, or Shu's interested in Kaneki, she's like, oh, you can get in there and get the information I want. And now, in order to get the answers about Rise's death, who forced him to become a ghoul, she wants Kaneki to go to Shu. Basically, I just said she wants Kaneki to go with Shu to the Gourmet restaurant, find out whatever he can, and then bring the information back to her, and then she'll tell him about Rise's death. Which was kind of... Again, we're not there, so let me stop getting ahead of myself. Now, as Kaneki is walking home, he's thinking about how to process information about, like, oh, I'm going to finally learn about Rise's death, find out why I got why her organs got put inside my body. And all I have to do is just follow Shu to this Gourmet restaurant. And Shu seems kind of cool. Like Shu said, I'm just misunderstood. They just don't understand me. He then finds Nishio, who's getting jumped by what looks like thugs, but actually turned to be other ghouls. I thought it was fitting because Shu tried to kill our boy Hyde, and he tried to kill Kaneki. But this is where they're trying to flip the script to make you feel bad for Nishio, or Nishiki, however you remember him. Despite his better judgment, Kaneki steps in to save him because, of course, I would just let him die. But then it turns out, this is where we find out that there are ghouls who simply love to eat their own. So basically, they're cannibalizing other ghouls, or ghouls that eat other ghouls. So again, I would just let him die. Like, if ghouls want to kill each other, go right ahead, kill each other. I don't care. If zombies wanted to kill each other and eat each other, we would not stop zombies from killing each other and eating each other. Like, we just would not. After Kaneki lands one good blow on one of them, they run away and chicken out, and they run away. So obviously, it's trying to imply that, yes, one-eyed ghouls are stronger than regular ghouls, because obviously Kaneki has not had that much training yet. Now, remembering the rumors how Kaneki held his own against one of the doves, I think that's what also made them like run away, because Kaneki had took on Amon and beat him. He didn't kill Amon, but he still held his own, which most ghouls can't do against a paranormal investigator, or they won't even try to. We then meet his human girlfriend, Nishio's, and she tries to attack Kaneki, thinking that he's one of the ghouls that were beating up Kaneki, or beating up Nishio. We also then learn that she's aware that Nishio is a ghoul, but she doesn't care, and that even though he eats humans and all that, like, she knows all of that. She doesn't seem to care. Like, she's like, I don't care that he eats humans. I don't care that, like, he's a ghoul. I love him. And I actually was going to title this, originally this chapter, particularly Daddy, I don't care if he's a ghoul, I love him. Like fucking that Pink song. But, no, I mean, that was an interesting reveal, because we know Nishio likes to trick humans. He likes forming friendships, forming bonds, and then using that bond they have to trick them and kill them. That's what gets Nishio excited. So to hear that he has a human girlfriend that knows he's a ghoul, I was like, okay, this is interesting. So she knows, and so you can't trick her. You obviously told her something like that, but you still let her live. So that was interesting. And then in her own words, he's a ghoul that does what he has to do just to survive. She was born a human, so of course her lifestyle seems different, so of course his lifestyle seems definitely stranger to us. I get her perspective, and again, Tokyo Ghoul, this is how it's trying to like trick you in empathizing with ghouls. Like they're like, oh, they didn't choose to be like this. This is just how they are, and we feel that way for Takuya, but Nishio, I feel like he's a different kind of ghoul, especially even Shu. But I mean, I guess that's one way to idolize it. Then again, all these teenage vampire dramas basically do the same thing, where like the Vampire Diaries, like, oh, Elena loves Stefan and Damon, even though they have to kill people and drink human blood, you know. And Twilight too, a lot of like fan fiction-y, usually these supernatural dating dramas, supernatural romances, they all do that. Where like, oh, I know that he's a monster, but I love him and I don't care. We're going to take a quick break. I had to work. I'll finish this other half of the review later. So, again, it'll still be combined into one video. But I'm just letting you know, when you see me change in different clothes, it's because we came back and finished it later. So, I'll be back, guys. Okay, we're back for part 2. Sorry I had to chop it up. Was rushing to work yesterday. Had plenty of time today. So, we're going to finish out this whole thing. So, where we last left off, well, I'll just continue like we ain't left off anywhere. When this chapter opens up, Shu is fattening up Kaneki like he's a pig for slaughter. He takes him out for like, well, first he takes him out to sports, like exhaust him. And then like he fattens him up by like feeding him like iced coffee, or like ice and iced coffee. Ice and hot coffee. This is because he like, I don't know, like it's something about like the sweat. He says it later, like the sweat makes his like meat glisten or something like that. It's in the ghoul world, it makes sense. So just go with it. But yeah, he's basically fattening up Kaneki for slaughter, making him taste good, sweet, like giving him all that, like the coffee and ice is gonna make him taste sweeter, and the sweat's gonna make that meat glisten. Basically, that sounds so weird when I say it out loud. But yes, I also noticed because, again, the anime by episode 3 rushed through this arc. So, again, like, whatever chapter we're on, the anime is already doing this by episode 3. So, there's a lot of talking, but it's just, like, a subtle trick. Like, he's just trying to, like, again, play coy that he's, like, Kaneki's friend. He just wants to eat him. Shu cuts one of Kaneki's fingers with his nails and pretends to apologize and offers Kaneki a handkerchief to wipe it up with, even though, like, Kaneki's like, oh, I can just use a napkin. Now, in the anime, this scene was, like, too quick for me to digest. I didn't really know what happened. But in the manga, because I know that he's interested in Kaneki because of the smell of his blood and all that, he's, like, he wanted to, like, get, like, a whiff. Like, you know, like how, like, barbecue, you smell it before you smell it before you see it. That's what he wanted. Like, he was like, oh, I know. Well, he already smelled Kaneki, but he, like, I guess he wants a taste. We also then get this like one-page flashback of how Rise looked down on Shu, basically saying that like his fancy gourmet club was too bougie for her. Like Rise is like, oh yeah, y'all eat like delicate and all shit like that. Like y'all eat like select things. Rise is like, I'm too good for that shit. Like she's like, I don't know. Basically, Rise is like, I ain't about the bougie lifestyle. I only eat like a woman's delicious eyes or like. I don't know. Well, we also know for sure that he ate that one's eyes, but like they eat what they consider delicacies. She's like, no, all the meat's mine. I ain't sharing with nobody. It's all mine. Obviously, Shu didn't like that she acted better than him. So I was like, it could be one motivation for him to want to kill Kaneki because like he hates Rise so much, and Rise's blood or Rise's organ is inside of Kaneki. But he excuses himself to the bathroom because he shattered a glass in his rage. But takes his handkerchief, claiming he's going to clean it. Like, so I guess when he was thinking about Rise, he was pissed off. But, like, at the same time, he's like, oh, let me go to the bathroom. And he takes a handkerchief with him. What he does instead, though, is inhale that handkerchief with Kaneki's blood like he's having a ghoul-gasm. It really is that scene from Hunter x Hunter when Hisoka is fighting God. And he's like, oh, God, don't look at me like that.
Don't look at me like that. It's really turning me on.
If you seen Hunter x Hunter, you know what I'm talking about. Hisoka is a creep, but Hisoka, his whole thing is like he wants to fight someone who can like get him excited, like somebody strong. And he sees the potential in Gon being a strong fighter. You see that from the first times they encounter each other. But yeah, that scene is so hilarious. That's what I was trying to show my nephew a cool fight between Gon and Hisoka, and I forgot about that Gon shit. That's all he remembers when he says it. And my nephew's like 11. He ain't stupid, but still, it's just that shit. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, from this one panel alone, we can see how crazy this guy is and how badly he wants to eat Kaneki. Again, it's giving Hisoka. It is giving Hisoka 100%. I'm actually quite surprised the chapter didn't end there. I would have ended it there. There's a lot of times I would have ended a chapter where I feel like it would end it perfectly. Like Shu going crazy after smelling Kaneki's blood and having that Gon moment would be a great ending. When Mato died and Amon holds him and is screaming, that would have been a great place in the chapter instead of like that like slice of life ending, because we already know like Kaneki and the others are going to look out for each other. But they're just like more powerful moments to end the chapter if I was the writer for this. But it ends with Kaneki being taken to a secret restaurant under the guise that he too is a guest. And again, the anime reveals this way too fast. So Shu takes him to the gourmet restaurant. He's like, oh yeah, this guy, he's with me. And they have like this secret conversation. Not in the manga panel, you don't see that. But in the anime, like they have a secret conversation. And obviously like the other ghoul knows like, okay, this kid's up for slaughter. But in the manga, it just makes it sound like Kaneki, like, oh yeah, you're my guest, come along with me. Which I guess is, well, yes, in the manga is better because you don't want that reveal that fast, especially like I said in the anime. That's why I think it's like a slice of life, because the anime goes through some of these arcs so fast. It's like, you know, if I wasn't this far ahead in the manga, I was straight up spoiled. So that's how I might get to 100 chapters of Tokyo Ghoul before I continue watching the anime, because that, so far what I've seen the anime is like 3 seasons, which I'm surprised about. But because I mean it's going so fast for a 160-page manga. But we'll see. So as the chapter continues, they have him showering and putting on a nice suit, making him think like, you know, like you're in with the exclusive ghouls, like you are a part of this gourmet restaurant. You know, we got you smelling good, we got you looking nice. You one of the fancy ones, you one of us. Obviously, we know she was a scumbag. I mean, I'm glad we got the reveal how we got it. It's more like Kaneki has to figure this out, but yeah, we know what she was up to. So we ain't falling for that. However, once Kaneki goes inside, he meets other normal humans who also believe they got invited to this secret club restaurant. And Kaneki's like, oh, there are other humans here? Like, there's this big woman, and I think there's like this like skinny guy, no, this fit guy, and this obese woman. I'm not making fun of nobody, but like she is. But we don't get to that. I like her character actually for what they do with her. And like they're like, oh yeah, we got invited to this restaurant. You know, my friend invited me here. Yada yada yada. But Kaneki should be putting it. I think he starts putting the pieces together because he's like, are you all like Nishio and Shiki, like, and his girlfriend, like y'all just cool with ghouls? Like y'all do y'all know about them? Are they not telling y'all anything? Before they go to the slaughter, I mean the restaurant, a ghoul brings them some cookies and coffee, which Kaneki is skeptical of. Thank you. In the anime, I think he just eats it again. The anime just blitzes through this stuff, but like he's already being more suspicious. After all, this is a ghoul restaurant. Like, why would they invite normal humans here? Like, of course, Kaneki, something's going on here. Don't eat the cookies, don't drink the coffee. Hello. They're got into another room where they find only 3 seats and none of the guests who invited them. So, like, they find, like, a table with just 3 seats. And they're like, where's Shu? Where's the guy invited you? What's the guy that invited you or woman that invited you? Like, where are our hosts, basically, you know? But what's worse is the room they're in is locked. Like, they find this out pretty quickly. And now Kaneki's like, oh, shit, this is a trap. Yeah, I'm fucked. It's finally starting to click into Kaneki's head, which the alarm bells should have went off sooner. Takuya had warned you. Takuya, a character you had spent like over 30 chapters with, warned you that she was a creep, stay away from him. And you met him one time, was like, oh yeah, you're totally cool. Like, ghouls don't play people. Like, Kaneki, chapter 1, episode 1, you got tricked by Rise, who said she was a book lover, and then she tried to kill your ass on a date, because she finds that exciting. Nishio did the same thing with Hyde. Why your dumb ass, after being tricked by 2 ghouls, well, you ain't got tricked by Nishio, but like, you know Nishio tried to trick Hyde. Why your dumb ass gonna fall for this a 3rd time? You better start learning. But that's when the reveal comes. They find themselves surrounded by ghouls on all sides, and they learn that they're on the full course menu. Like, they are the menu. Because I think, like, these, like, doors fall away, and it reveals, like, them at the table, and, like, there's, like, a crowd of ghouls on, like, he stands all cheer, like, yeah, finally, I'm starving, let's eat. And I think the other 2 are like, where's the food at? And Kaneki's just like, we are the food. The woman understandably freaks the fuck out. Apparently, the ghoul that brought her here was her fiance, but he was just fattening her up for tonight's meal. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, yeah, so the woman was a fiance of a ghoul, but he was like, I wasn't trying to date your ass. You way too big for my ass. Anyways, but I wanted all that succulent meat on your body. I wanted all that juicy meat. The other guy, they just want him because he is extremely fit. Yeah, so that's what it was. So the one guy was invited because, like, you know, he's extremely fit. He goes to the gym every day. And the other woman was, like, invited because she got, like, a lot of meat on her body. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, there's plenty of meat to go around. But again, I like this woman. We're going to get to her in a minute. But it's Kaneki, who's the main course. He's a ghoul with the scent of a human, and that's because not many know that he's fully been turned into a ghoul after being impaled or rides his organs. Well, they don't know he's like a one-eyed ghoul, a half ghoul, a hybrid. They just know he smells like a ghoul, but he's a human. And I guess because what was her name? Itio? I forgot her name. The one with Yuta, and Yomo, that girl, she had said, like, you know, one-eyed ghouls have been speculated. There's a speculation of one exists, but we've never seen one. So all these ghouls, they think that he's going to be, like, the most exquisite dish in existence. Like, they're like, you are the main course. Like, he might be the appetizer, the fit one, and then she might be, like, the main course, and then you're going to be dessert. Like, dessert is what we all looking forward to. But the ghouls who could easily rip these humans apart don't do it themselves. Perhaps they're too classy for that. Like, you know, the way they dressed up and suited up. They're like, I ain't going to get all that blood and shit on me. Like, oh, no, we're going to get somebody else to do it. No, and instead they have a human called the Scrapper do it, and that's exactly where I stopped watching the anime because I got confused. So this is the point in the anime where I had actually stopped watching, and I just went back to reading the manga because I was like, okay, there's a lot going on here. I didn't know what was happening, and thankfully I did stop here because I would have been way too far ahead based off how fast the anime is moving. So yeah, there's this. I thought he was a ghoul, but I know he's a human now. He's a human called a Scrapper. He's like this huge, big muscle guy, I guess, like a thug head, and he's got this like machete, and he's gonna chop up these humans for these ghouls, so they don't have to do it themselves, and they can just eat. Now, although I don't remember seeing these two in the anime, this man's reaction to find out this man's reaction who finds this restaurant exceptional and exciting. Like, so the fit guy still thinks like this is a restaurant. This is like all like, you know, like food and theater. Like, you know, he thinks like, oh, this is an excellent show. The woman and the man are not in the anime because I don't remember seeing them at all. Especially because, like I said, it was only 3 episodes. If it was more fleshed out, and this was like episode 10, 12, you know, it probably would be like have those characters in it. But yeah, I don't remember them at all. But I do like these characters. Although I was like, man, how are you that stupid? Like, they are literally excited to eat you. They just said that. But I think it's because he thought it was a joke up until the Scrapper started cutting his ass into various parts, and then he realized he shouldn't have come. Like, he thinks it's all fun and games until the Scrapper starts cutting him up. He's like, oh, this is so fun. And then, you know, his hands come up. He's like, what the fuck? That's some dark ass humor, dark cynical humor. Now, Kaneki vows to protect the woman with the best of his ability, hoping to defeat the Scrapper, but in times like this, you can expect the worst in humanity. I would clip in, again, the High School of Dead scene with the best friend, but again, that video got copyright claimed, and I had to clip it out to show it. But if you see High School of Dead, just look up High School of Dead best friend scene, and you'll understand what she does. She gives Kaneki the boot to save herself. She literally kicks his ass and says, kill him, I'm out of here. And I get that shit is darkly hilarious. I mean, it's a manga. It's not real, but it's darkly hilarious. But then it's the fact that she like is sprinting. This big woman. It's hilariously dark. I get it's not. You would never want to see this in real life, but like because it's a manga, because it's fiction, it's just funny. But as she's running, she was like, I was once on the track team and went to nationals. And she's hoping to outrun and tire out the scrapper. Obviously, she can't escape because she was surrounded by ghouls at all sides. But I like this like random last fight that she's putting up. Like, you know, she ain't just willing to go down and be eaten. She's like, oh, hell no. You want to eat me? You got to catch my ass. I applauded that. Not the fact that she can't connect his ass who's down to protect her. But she just like, but I mean, I don't think I would leave anybody behind. I don't think I would. Again, you don't know until you're in that situation. But I remember I had this like dream once, random side tangent, but I had this dream once that like the world was being flooded. Like, I think I was in Daytona Beach. I was on the beach with my brother. He was like very young, and the world was being flooded. I never left him behind. I held it on his hand the entire time. We made it to this elevator, and I still never let go of his hand. Even as the elevator was crashing down, like the whole world's being flooded, but the elevator's slowing down real fast. I never let go of his hand. I held on his hand all the way to the end, and then, you know, we passed away into heaven. Like, it literally was like that. Like, there was the doors open, there was light, and I never let go of his hand. And I loved myself for that because I'm like, I'm glad even in my mental space, even in like a place where I feel like something really dark could happen, I feel like I would still protect my family. I really like that. And so I feel like even for a stranger in that worst situation, I'd be like, Kaneki, I'd be like, I'm trying to save you. Not just like, oh, bitch, goodbye. That's like that. Excuse my Infamous playthrough, by the way, as well. Like, Infamous, you should be evil, right? Because I actually played Infamous all the way good. I had never seen the evil ending before. Or the evil playthrough. I do like that red lightning and then it turns white. That's it. Why ain't you like some cool lightning? Or it turns black. We should got some cool lightning when you play all good and Infamous. Just my opinion. Anyways, back off enough my side tangent. But that's when we find out what was in the coffin that gave the humans. It was poison, possibly to stop them from escaping at all. Which again is next to impossible. Y'all are ghouls. Y'all have konjuis. We're not gonna escape y'all. But I guess it's like, so you can't even put up a fight, you know, if by any chance you could, you know. But Kaneki quickly realized that even if the scrapper can be taken down, you have a lot of ghouls to deal with, which I'm like, yeah, obviously y'all surrounded by ghouls. That's what I was like, I thought it was interesting that like she would even like think she could outrun him because I'm like, you're surrounded by a bunch of killers, whether they're ghouls or not. So I was super curious how Kaneki would get out of this. The scrapper does manage to catch up to Kaneki and tries to cut him with his blade and skin, but he can't be punctured so easily by a blade because even with the force of a human weapon. Well, all right. So here's my curiosity. He tries to stop Kaneki with a blade, but it bends because you know he's a ghoul. They can't be killed by non-human weapons. They can only be killed by kinekis, which are made from ghouls' konjuis. But Rise got killed by a bunch of pipes. So I'm like, what are the rules? We still don't know exactly how Rise was killed, so that's true. We don't know exactly how she was killed. And we know that Kaneki tried to stab himself with a knife, so we should know, like, Rise wasn't killed by, like, no, hold on, guys. I got my nose. So we know that Rise couldn't have been killed by just regular metal pipe, so we still got to get to that. So Shu recommends a dove-made weapon, a kineki. Now, that is how you end a fucking chapter. That is a proper way to end the chapter. Amon screaming for Overmodel's death. Shu having a ghoulgasm over Kaneki being turned into a ghoul, and then open the chapter with him going to this restaurant. And then third, ending it with the kineki being given to the scrapper so he can kill Kaneki. That is how you end a chapter. But that's not where we're going to stop yet. Because I feel like the next chapter is a better ending. But just saying, he did it proper that time. Now, as the chapter opens up, it's revealed that this kineki is a souvenir to Shu, meaning he's obviously killed a dove to retrieve it, obviously, because, kinekis are dove weapons. Like, they're made from ghouls' konjuis, but paranormal investigators revamped them into those weapons. Kaneki is holding his own, though, because unlike a dove, this scrapper is all brute force but has no plan to attack. He's just swinging wildly like me in a video game. Like me in a video game, I just run into battle, swing, cut up everything. Can't do that in Rise of the Ronin. I'm gonna tell you now, Rise of the Ronin is not like no swing and hit. You gotta actually plan your moves out. But it ain't no free-for-all fighter. That's what he's doing. He's doing what I would normally do in a video game. Just go in there. Kingdom Hearts about it for me. Just going in there swinging. No plan at all. Now, with the training he remembered from Yamo and Takuya through Kaneki, he turns the tides on the Scrapper and immediately twists his arm out of place. Again, that is because the Scrapper is a human. He's not a ghoul. It's only revealed in the anime that that's true. I don't think it's revealed in the manga, or it is later. However, Shu had another twist up his sleeve. As they walked through the hallway with no windows, it was actually filled with a gas that would slowly cause their motion skills to pivot to the point where they become immobile, and it's finally hitting Kaneki. So you had poison in the cookies. You had him drink coffee and sugar and all that shit, so he would get nice and glistening meat. And now you added a toxic gas that's gonna make him immobile. So again, there was no way any of them would ever made it out of here. So why'd you... I don't know. It seems so extra. And again, all y'all are ghouls. It just seems so extra, all this extra stuff. But maybe they did it specifically because they know that, for some reason, Kaneki has, the scent of a ghoul. I don't know. Because they don't know he's a one-eyed ghoul still. They don't know that. But now, desperately and probably hungry, Kaneki reaches into his inner ghoul in the nick of time to save himself. He, goes full ghoul mode. Or not full ghoul mode. He enters his ghoul mode. But it doesn't seem to be enough because the gas has actually made him paralyzed. He's about to die for sure when I knew something unexpected would happen. So what happened is Kaneki in his desperate situation, he reveals his one-eyed ghoul self, his eye. And even though, this would be Kaneki, I was like, oh shit, Kaneki's about to eat the Scrapper. He's about to, bite your flesh and whoop your ass, and then probably all these ghouls here. He was still immobilized by the gas, so I was like, something about to happen. Because all these ghouls now find out he's a one-eyed ghoul. What I did not expect was Shu to save him and offer up the Scrapper, who is human, and after just grossly, I think he, rips him open, just cuts through him, and he offers, the Scrapper in Kaneki's place. And, that's when you find out in the anime that, the woman that owns the Scrapper, she's like, oh, I thought of him as my son. He was my human slave. And she was like, oh, I'll buy you another human slave. Don't worry about that. They're celestial dragons or some shit. Shu tried to play it out that he was just playing a prank on Kaneki, but we know that once he saw Kaneki's one-eyed ghoul, and we know we saw that ghoulgasm that he had when he saw Kaneki, after smelling Kaneki's blood, the truth is that he now knows Kaneki is rare. Kaneki is a rare one-eyed ghoul, and he wants to eat them all for himself. That's actually where I ended the chapter, and I knew this before I turned the next page. I said, Kaneki, if you fall for this dumb shit, if you don't kick his ass in the next chapter, you a dumbass. And we ain't gonna spoil it, but I guess it's not his fault based on what happens in the next chapter, but I was like, Kaneki, you a dumbass if you hang out with Shu again after he just tried to kill you. Blatantly, you've been tricked 3 times by 3 ghouls. Hyde didn't trick you. It was Nishio. Nishio tricked Hyde, you saw that. Rise tricked you, and now Shu tricked you. Don't fall for this dumb shit again. Anyways, guys, that's all for this video. Don't want to drag this out any longer. I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys would be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If you go where monsters dance, red will reign over your house. Love Be Damned.
Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school because, of course, he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love BK's right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.